Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are starting a new day, last day of our spring, so it'll be late spring for us last month, I guess. What would that be, May for you guys? It would be for me anyway. So today's the day we're doing some hay, and we're just going to go over a little bit what we're doing here. Let's run on down to the end of the lane and check out our grass field. Now I believe it is field 26, yes. That should be ready to go. I planted this and it doesn't look like anything came up yet. Barley planted 100% fertilized. Good. So that'll probably be coming up here by the end of the day. Very, very good. But we're headed to field 26, which is just over there. Why don't we take a little shortcut across the road and let's see what it looks like. Just got to make sure that we have all of our grass ready to go and we can make some hay. Been looking forward to this for quite a while. So we'll try out our sickle mower, and no doubt we'll have to upgrade because the sickle mower will go unbelievably slow. But it makes for good video, and that's what we're all about. We're here for the content, aren't we? Look at that. That grass is actually quite tall. I would say it's almost 2 feet tall by now. That is perfect. Ready to harvest. I know it's not going to fertilize very much, but that's fine. We don't want to waste any time, so we're going to go and get the old sickle bar mower, and we're going to get right to it. Now I'm hoping I have room in there because that rake looks awfully close. Do a 6,000 point turn, and we'll get hooked up here. Just about. There it is. Now can I just drive out of here? It might simplify things for me. Look at that. There it is. I cannot wait to try that combine. That is going to be a lot of fun, especially with that new header. Knowing that I can get so much bigger of a header than the factory specs are on that. I think that'll be great. Here we are. We're at the field ready to go. So I think I'll start at the far end and we'll see how she goes from there. We can unfold the mower. We can also lower it. And let's swing wide. Yeah, this is definitely going to take a long time. I can tell that already. But that's okay. We're here for the experience. Gotta keep reminding myself because there's so many bigger equipment I could totally get, right? But it really isn't the point. The point is to enjoy the little things. So we're going to hire a worker, and there you can see they put on a green shirt. And they're just whipping right along. Very cool. So a sickle bar mower would generally leave the grass laying flat right in behind it. Whereas a mower conditioner or any other type of mower like a disc spine would kind of leave it in windrows. So I'll definitely have to rake here, but that's fine. We will enjoy doing the raking too. It's not very hard to do, and we can hire someone to do it as well. I am just curious how well he is actually cutting. I guess I won't really be able to see, will I? Because field 26 doesn't look like it has anything on it, even though there's grass on it. Well, I guess we'll just wait and see. But we're going to watch and see how he makes his first turn. And if we're happy with that, then we can leave him be and let him cut the rest of the field while we wait on him. Now, we're not going to do all of this with a sickle bar mower, simply because we'd probably have a 2-hour long episode, and nobody wants to see that, and nobody has the time to watch 2 hours on YouTube. So what did we do instead? We went ahead and bought this New Holland. It's called a disc spine. Now, very simply to explain this, it has tiny little discs at the front. Well, I say tiny, but relative, right? It has several discs in here, in this part where the black is, and those are the cutting heads. And it cuts the grass, and then it pushes it back through these two rollers. Now these rollers, they have a bit of texture on them. You can see they got lines and whatnot. They crimp the grass, so to speak. So what that does, it kind of crushes the grass a little bit and makes it easier for them to dry out. And you can see it's got sort of a chute here at the end as well, which looks to me like it's not adjustable, but maybe it is. I don't know. There's your owner's manual pocket. Cool. So we're going to put the New Holland to work with the disc spine. That way we can get finished a little quicker. So first things first, let's get more or less lined up. Now it's important to note that the disc spine has a very, very long neck, and it's for a good reason. And I'll show you that right now. When we unfold, you can see it goes at a bit of a 45-degree angle. And that is because it's supposed to be trailing the tractor at a 45-degree angle. Something like so. Then we can lower it, and we can higher. I'm afraid that was not... Helper B was not very useful. Let's just... Oh, I gotta learn how to use this myself. Hold on. Oh, I haven't lowered my mower. Goodness me. We'll try again. This is quite a failed attempt. That is fine. We'll come at it again. And you can see running this thing being off at an angle like that is quite something. I'm going to lower it now while I'm thinking of it. And we're going to try this mower one more time. So turn on. There we are. Now we're cutting. And my goodness, this thing goes fast. I'm going to see if we can hire a worker. Yes, we can now. Perfect. That disc spine is twice as wide as a sickle bar mower. The sickle bar being 2 meters and the disc spine being 4. But the change in speed is what really makes all the difference here. 22 kilometers an hour versus 12. That is almost twice as fast, but also twice as wide. So this should definitely help us with getting our chores done in a hurry. From this overhead view, you can see that the grass is more of a swath. It doesn't have the full spread like you would see from the sickle bar mower. You see definitely a little more gaps in between, so very interesting to note. And that would probably be due to seeing those flaps we have on the back of the mower just kind of pushing things in together. Now we have two options as far as collecting all the grass. Well, I suppose more than two options, but it comes down to two different options of feed. We can either make hay with this, or we can make silage. So if we collect the grass green and bale it green, we in a sense make silage. We could also collect it with loading wagons and dump it on our silage pit or silage heap and compress it, and we would make silage that way. Or we can take what is known as a tedder, which is sort of like a rake, except instead of raking stuff into rows, it kind of throws everything around and spreads it out evenly. And what that does is it helps the grass to dry a little quicker, and we can move on to baling sooner. So I think we're going to take the route of making hay, since that is what I kind of wanted to do. We're actually going to dismiss this worker right here. We can fold. I think the New Holland is well on its way to finishing that field. We're going to go and pick up the tedder from the store, and we're going to bring it on over to field 26. While we're there, we'll sell the sickle bar mower and get a little bit of cash back, seeing as we dropped below 600,000. So we're still above our budget, but we're starting to trickle a little bit closer. We're back at the field, And we got the tedder here. Now, I didn't go with the smallest tedder this time, simply because tedders generally all work the same way. And so I was more focused on getting something that would be the maximum width for the horsepower allowed. So tedders have a few different shapes, this being one of them. This is sort of like a wing style. Some of them are more round, but they all do the exact same job, and so I didn't really think it was necessary to go with the absolute smallest unit. That being said, this tedder is huge compared to some of them that I've used in this game. So we're going to hire the worker right away, and you're going to see exactly what the tedder does here. So it's grabbing these and just kind of mix them all up and throwing them around. So you see there's no more rows in the back here now, whereas there were rows in front. And it looks like it's lighter colored right away, which is supposed to signal that the grass has dried. And I'm blocking him off, but let's jump over here. Grass harvested. Very good. So that fella there is just ripping right on along. And this guy's going pretty quick too, my goodness. 19 clicks an hour. This haying is not taking long. I would not be surprised if he catches up with the New Holland at some point. But if he does, he can just wait. Now in a real world scenario, the tedding would only happen a day or two after the cutting, just to give the top a little bit of time to dry, and then you would ted to turn it over and fluff it up and get the rest of it to dry. But this is game life, and so we're allowed to go a little quicker than that, so it seems. And after tedding, you would typically wait anywhere from 2 to 5 days depending on the weather, and that's when you would start to bale. So the whole process of making hay is about a week-long process, never mind having to put up the hay into whatever shelter you had planned to put it in. So it's just the way it would go in a real world scenario, but we get to pack all of this down in one day and in one episode. Now this mower and this tedder are going to come awfully close to being tangled together, if I am not mistaken. It might actually even happen. I am going to go and check the tedder right now. Yeah, that is going to be a problem, so I am going to back the tedder up for just a tad, just to make sure that the mower has room to turn around, seeing as it is of more importance at this point. It is more important for it to finish, then we can finish our tedding afterwards. So we'll let the New Holland make his turn, and we can chase on after. And this tractor drives a little bit slower because of the tedding, so that should work perfectly in our favor. Just like so. We will hire the worker. Please drop your tedder and you may go. Beautiful. So I'm going to jump over to the New Holland, because as soon as they are done, I gotta go and move the disc spine out of the way so that the tedder can keep working. With the mowing all complete, we can bring the mower back to the yard, and we can pick up the rake from there. We'll have to rake everything back into swaths, so that, I say swats, but I mean swaths. I don't know why I keep saying swaths. Must be that German heritage coming out. Something like that. But yeah, we'll wash the old mower off, or new I guess. And we'll grab the rake and we'll start to rake the grass all together and make some swaths. Would you look at the timing. Helper G has completed their task. Off on the top right. Just disappeared. That is... couldn't have picked better timing. So we'll let the Massey do the raking there, because I got bigger fish to fry with a bigger tractor. So we'll hop on over to the Massey. We can fold that tedder right up. And we can take the tedder home with the New Holland. And we'll get busy with raking using this old Massey here. Massey's almost got 600 hours, or would be 6,000, I don't know. Let's say 600. But yeah, 5.8. That is, it's been used well. Now here you see the rake kind of stuck in behind the grass and shrubs, whatnot. This is the same rake we used for making windrows of our straw. So there's nothing new. It's just a simple wheel with wire spokes in a V formation. You've seen this before on previous episodes, so I won't go into a lot of detail explaining what this thing does. I think it's pretty straightforward. Set it down and off he goes. We'll let him do his thing while we bring our tedder home and move on to other points of business. So it's come to my attention that I also own Field 17, and I haven't done anything with it yet. Don't know why I own Field 17. I didn't buy it, but there it is. I at least don't think I bought it. So we're gonna go plant some soybeans there. Why not, right? I mean, it's not what you would use for cattle feed, but it's a cash crop, and I am sure it will come in handy. It looks like Field 23 is also hay, which is amazing. I need to buy Field 23 as well, so I can do a little more hay on it. Maybe in the future, right? Once we really start getting going with the cattle. So I'm going to try to line this up decently straight and unfold. Now I believe I can detach from there. I remember the first time using this type of planter, I was so frustrated with trying to get it unhooked. I edited most of it out because it looked really goofy the way I was struggling trying to figure that thing out. But I eventually did. And it was good after that. So somewhere about there, and we can hire worker. Drop that planter in, let's get going. Looks like I left quite a bit of an overlap, that's fine. I don't see any problem with that. And we're gonna let him go to town. See what he gets accomplished. In the meantime, we're checking in on the Massey, seeing how our hay raking is going, and I would say it's going swimmingly well. I would believe we can take the New Holland baler and hook it up on here. If I remember correctly, that baler could be run on our small little Massey 20B. So this Massey 275 should definitely be able to pull it. And we can make some hay bales. We're getting a nice little close-up here of the cut grass. You can tell it's a lot shorter, it doesn't look 2 feet tall anymore. And there's our swath of hay that we've just raked together. There it is, all tedded out. So it gives you a bit of an idea of what we're doing here. So I'm going to keep an eye on our fella here raking, because as soon as he's done raking, we're jumping on to the baler and we're gonna start baling. And I can't wait for that. It would appear he's doing a second time over on this SWAT. I'm not sure why. He was all done, but he figured he would do it over. So we'll dismiss him at the end of the row and call her good. I think that should be just fine. We don't need to pay him to do this a few times over. We'll just lower that windrower so I can catch the final little pieces here. Lift and fold. So we're heading back to the farm, get the baler, and we start to make our bales. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. The climax to the episode. Oh boy, that sounds terrible in every which way. Well, we know we have 51 bales, and we also know that we need to count and see how many bales we have at the end of the season, or at the end of this episode. So here we go. Let's start baling. I believe the first bale that'll pop out will be a straw bale, seeing as it is still a little bit of straw inside the baler, but yeah, there we are. There appears to be a straw bale there first. Must have been stuck inside the baler, so we won't be able to count that one. So 52 was the final number for the straw bales. That is good to know. And we'll keep counting from here. Well, in a very strange turn of events, it looks like it is still all grass, so I didn't wait long enough. I didn't know that this game would be that fussy with tedding. I would have thought that once you tedded it, it would have turned to hay, but I suppose not with seasons. So we're making grass bales today. So be it. Maybe I'll make some grass bales, and we can perhaps get them wrapped. And maybe I'll leave half of these swaths here, and we can make some hay on another episode. I don't know. Rather interesting. I didn't see that in time, but it's okay. We're learning, and as we learn, and maybe it's because I'm picking up some of the grass here in the beginning. If I wouldn't pick that up, maybe it would actually say hay on there. I'm not too sure on that. But whatever the case, we won't worry too much. It is what it is. Using this inside view here, I guess it'd be more of a first-person view. It's kind of amusing how obstructed the whole view is. The exhaust pipe and the air intake and all that stuff. Plus the loader brackets. And what's really amusing is that the loader brackets are hiding those two big spotlights or work lights that I should be using. I don't know why that is, but you can even tell if I move it like so. I turn on my lights. There you go. You can see that there's lights right in behind the bracket. This poor one on this side just has no visibility at all because of the big oil tank. Just something that I just noticed, but my goodness, my tractor's sturdy. We are going to back this baler up onto the field, and not so much like that. And we will unload the rest of our bales here. Alright, we can fold up. Looks like we'll have one grass bale left for the next time. We'll deal with that later. We are going to go and get our bale collecting wagon, and let's see if we can get some of these bales collected. It's 2022 and bales are still socially distanced. I don't know what's going on. But you can see those are straw bales that I have from my previous harvest. And the reason why they were on there is because we didn't get a full stack last time. But we do have one bale that is a straw bale on this field, so we're going to collect that, and then we're going to bring it over to the shed. It's this bale right here, and we'll start with a fresh empty wagon to load up all these grass bales. There we are. We can go to transporting position. Let's not run these bales over, and we'll go bring this off to the shed. And there we have it. Last 4 bales unloaded there. We can head right back to the field now, and we can go and grab all those grass bales. Now I could feed them to the cattle as grass, or I could feed them as silage. And so I think in this case, I might even just start by feeding them as grass, seeing as silage would take a little extra work, having to wrap them and all. And I don't have a wrapper just yet, so we'll collect them. We can always wrap them later if need be. It's not the end of the world. So for now, we'll just have grass bales. So this again is very typical of what we did last time. Just a matter of collecting bales. You've seen this machine operate before. You know what it does, you know what it's about. So we won't go into too much detail with this unit here. Well, there's the first wagon full. That is 16 bales right here. We'll go and unload them in the same shed, just kind of beside the straw bales, and go from there. We picked up another 8, so that gives us a total of 24 bales that we'll have for grass bales. That's fantastic news. I think we can just put them right on in front of the bales we have going on here, and that should probably do. So what I normally like to do is tip them upward before I get to backing in. That way it gives me a better idea of where my trailer is and where the pile will end up being. It's always a bit difficult to gauge how you're backing, but I'm sure there's people that know how to do this a lot better than I do. I just play for the fun of it, so it kind of shows in my gameplay sometimes. We're so close. How about we call that a winner? Nice, none of them dropped on the ground. That's always a winner to me. Perfection. So that's it for the grass bales. I guess we gotta wait for a little while longer to make hay. So I'm gonna go bring the wagon on home, and we're gonna go check up on that planter and see how they're making out with planting soybeans. Our planting here is all done on field number 17. So we can happily go on our way and drop our planter off back home, I guess. And I'm going the wrong way for some reason. Here we go. Let's go back home. Turn on those strobe lights and head on back. Yeah, home should be over in the general left area, I guess. And now, as per usual, we will wash off our equipment. Make sure everything is nice and clean before we put it back. Excuse me, I had a little bit of a squeak there, didn't I? Yeah, we'll wash everything, make sure it's clean before we put it back. That way, we have something nice and clean to work with next time around. So, I think that is enough for this episode. I don't want to make them too terribly long. So thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy our little baling day. Now, I am going to do a little more work for the neighbors, help everyone else get seated, but I think we've already seen that in previous episodes, so there's no need to be watching any more than necessary. Thank you again for those of you who stuck around, and if you guys are new to the channel or you find yourself coming back or enjoying the series, give it a like, or if you feel adventurous, how about a subscribe? Yeah, why not subscribe? Wow, I'm losing track of my words. Fantastic. Alright guys, you all stay safe, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care now.